That's right. Testbug obviously has the 3 different textures. Personally, I prefer to spawn at the jungle texture, or tile set rather. Thinking of Halo right now. But anyways, yeah, it looks like they've spawned. ProClan's going to be in Mordor, and tkOhmboy up in Rivendell. And yeah, Terran versus Zerg on this map, definitely interesting. You know what? It's really wide open along the way to your opponent's base, and the rush distances are pretty far, so definitely set up for some good macro play here, I think.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? 3-player maps always end up being they're my favorite maps. When I played Brood War, I always used to play on what's the name of that map? Tau Cross. Best 3-player map
really
ever.
Nice map.
Yeah, but 3-player maps are always interesting because you know, you might scout your opponent second, you might not. So it's always closer positions than a 4-player map.
Yes.
But the scouting sometimes makes a difference. So sometimes there's some cool stuff. Sometimes there's some fast expanding. Sometimes more standard play. You get a lot more variety because you get some of the 2-player map strats and some of the 4-player map strats on these 3-player maps.
That's right. And the expansions are also interesting. Where you take your next expansion can be a little bit more of a debate in a 3-player map because you're usually expanding towards your opponent as opposed to a 4-player map where you can usually expand away from them.
Yep, and the other thing to note on this map, and I don't know how well you guys can see this on the stream, because the quality might not be the best, but in front of the natural here, there's a row of rocks that I believe blocks buildings, so it's a little bit harder to bunker rush on this map if Zerg fast expands because of those rocks.
Yeah, that's a really nice addition. Obviously, bunker rushes at a choke like this can be so potent.
Now what I'm curious to see on this map too is where Zerg is going to take his third, because looking at both his options, they both seem pretty far away. I would guess at this one southwest of where he spawned.
Yes, I think the high ground expansion is probably a better choice. It just seems a little bit more safe. You know, you can't really get shelled by siege tanks, whereas the gold is obviously much more vulnerable. You got to get rid of those rocks first as well. Looks like Terran has scouted it in the wrong direction first, so it's going to take him a little bit more time to get to see what ProClan has been up to. And it looks like he's going to be fast expanding here again, and I believe he did an extractor trick as well to get that extra drone out before building his Overlord.
Yep, and it does look like Terran is going to be fast expanding along with him as well.
Yeah,
command center
that's
going
a good
up.
Build. But one thing you have to be careful about when you do something like this 1-racks expand as Terran is that Zerg can then quickly take a third sometimes and really just punish you. Probably not on this map, but on other maps like Tal'Dorei Altar, it comes into play a lot more. And they can just out-macro you so hard after doing something like this. And it looks like, oh nice, 2 refineries coming up after. I like that play. Gonna be teching up really fast.
Indeed. So if the Zerg does go for a fast third on this map, like you were saying, if he sees this fast expansion, I think he will get punished for that if he does.
Yes, with those 2 refineries, he's going to be able to get siege tanks out really quickly. And, well, you know what? We're going to have to see if that's what he chooses to do. Obviously, Banshees are a possibility as well. But I do love 2-base siege tank timing pushes. It's really powerful, as I'm sure a lot of Zerg players know.
It looks like he's denied scouting so far. If we take a look at Blue's vision, he hasn't seen the command center yet. He does have an Overlord up over this cliff, but he does have Marines down on the low ground that have denied any scouting. So Zerg's completely in the dark at the moment, while Terra knows exactly what's going on.
He's actually literally in the dark. He hasn't even seen a single building from tkOhmboy at this point, whereas Terran ran that SCV right through and saw everything. But it looks like, oh wow, really quick lair. Look at that, he's already almost completed that lair. 10 drones also popping out. A lair this fast, gonna be interesting to see what he does with that.
Yeah,
looks like he's only got 1 gas at this point, so probably not gonna be seeing mutas.
I would be willing to bet he's gonna go Banelings again. He seems to like that.
That would be pretty cool, really fast centrifugal hooks with the lair. And also, you really don't need that much gas for the Banes. Obviously, you need a lot more for Infestors or Mutas. But looks like he doesn't have any tech structures up yet. Oh, look at that, though. He's taking more gas. So it looks like he has... Okay, so it's going to be Mutas. But he only has Alright, there he goes. Alright, at one point he only had 3 extractors building, but he is taking that 4th. So, going to be really quick mutas right now. And generally speaking, you want to get the engineering bay up around 8 minutes in this case.
Yeah, and I like the choice of mutas over banelings at this point, because if we look around the main bases on this map, there's no ground really, it's all air. So those mutas can get in and get out a lot more easier than they could on Shattered Temple, which is pretty much a little bit more so boxed by ground where they can get Marines in.
It's a lot easier to harass the natural on this map as well, with that huge space of just trees and other shrubs. Obviously, on Shattered Temple, you can take out those rocks and run up there. Here, that's not the case. Going to be really effective.
The other thing I like about these mutas is he knows that Terran has expanded, but he's still mostly in the dark. He hasn't gotten to see any of the tech structures yet. So those mutas are going to be able to scout for him as well. Better than an Overlord would be able to at this point.
One thing I think ProClan needs to keep in mind here, though, he did sacrifice early speed for those mutas, so a timing push with siege tanks could have really worked a number on him if he had pushed out. Obviously, looks like Metabolic Boost is going to be finished in 30 seconds here, but there was a really nice timing window available, and considering the lack of scouting information, I think this fast lair build was a bit of a risk.
I think it's going to pay off, though, because if we look, Terran actually only has 2 racks currently, I believe. Yes, he still does have 2 racks. So he does have a good number of Marines, but he doesn't have the amount of Marines he could if he had done something else, because I think he went 2-1-1. So not many Marines, so these mutas are going to be able to get in, and they're going to be able to get a lot of SCVs before these Marines get back, because they're way out at the front, stimming back now.
Yep. And the engineering bay isn't even completed. It's actually, in fact, only halfway done. So missile turrets, oh my god, look at the amount of SCVs that are being killed here.
I think you got most of them out there, but it does look like he probably got probably 7 or 8 before they were chased out. That's definitely a huge deal. And looks like there's oversaturation at the natural right now. Only 3 mutas left, but he's probably going to want to pull out there. He's got a ton of gas, so he can afford about 7 more. So he's probably going to want to leave and regroup. Obviously, 7 mutas plus 3 is 10. It's a lot better to go with the huge clump and maximize that bounce damage that they get. Indeed, and Terran has to be careful here because he's stimming these Marines a lot, and he only has 1 medevac. Most of these Marines are below half health just from stims at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and handful of Zerglings, which there's definitely a handful of Zerglings on the map right now, could do some serious damage if he gets in there.
Looks like he's going to be taking out those rocks so he can clear up that Xel'Naga watchtower. And he has taken his 3rd on the high ground there. His 4th is coming as well. He's really expanding hard. He knows Terran really can't move out quite yet. He's waiting for a few more siege tanks, I think. But you know what? I don't think that 4 siege tanks is really going to cut it against this many Zerglings. And actually a ton more in production. 62 Zerglings. It's really, really strong against the unit composition Terran has right now.
Indeed. This is not looking too... Terran is taking a 3rd, it looks like, though, building his command center out here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where he's going to float that. Probably up to the high ground.
Looks like he's actually planning on the gold. Taking out those rocks right now.
Yes.
But he's completely out of position and unsieged, and the Zerglings are streaming in. This could be really bad. Oh, man. You know what? I think ProClan might have been able to press his advantage there, but I do like that he's pulling out. Better to be safe than sorry. He's got a few Banelings mixed in there as well.
He's also taking a 5th now down at the bottom.
Wow, yeah, just
in the space
mass
zone.
Expanding. So many bases right now, and I think that's going to be almost unstoppable if Terran doesn't do something right now. He's definitely got to push in and deny some of this. If we look at the income tab, we can see Zerg is clearly ahead in both minerals and gas, and has 58 drones to 49 SCVs.
The more time that goes by, the worse this is looking for Terran. He's AiProClan definitely more of a macro player here. Even if he doesn't necessarily need to, he just keeps expanding, which I like.
Yeah.
And because of the mutas and because of the amount of Zerglings that are out, Terran really just can't keep up at the moment.
That's so true. And actually, he's been droning up so hard throughout all of this. Another round of 10 drones out. He's got 73 drones, more on the way. I think that once this final round of drones is done, he's going to have maximum saturation at his bases, and he can just get a huge amount of minerals then and really start pumping out units like there's no tomorrow. I mean, he has the production facilities necessary. All those hatcheries, it's going to be really strong and hard to stop.
Yeah, and he's actually taking another hatchery now at the main base.
Right. Two hatcheries.
Down on the bottom.
Yep, macro hatcheries. Hatcheries galore. ProClan really seems to like hatcheries. And it's so effective against this passive style. TkOhmboy really hasn't put much pressure on this entire series, really, except for that first game. He hasn't even come close to the Zerg's bases, essentially.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to macro up, but I think just the map control that Zerg's had, and oh my god, there are 3 hatcheries building right now.
Oh man. Yeah, I think that ProClan really understands the weakness of TkOhmboy at this point. He knows, you know what? TkOhmboy might even be on tilt at this point. He's lost 2 games. He's been really overwhelmed by tons of units. It's no wonder he's playing defensively. I'd be pretty scared to go up against this many banelings myself.
Yeah, indeed. I think he needs to... Hopefully he'll realize next game that he needs to be a little bit more aggressive early, because ProClan's definitely taking some risks.
You absolutely can't let them drone up like that. Reaching maximum drone saturation so early, it's just so detrimental. Terran's really not a good macro race. The strength of Terran is in pressure, and TkOhmboy just really isn't taking advantage of that. In fact, I don't think we've seen any drops either this game, and that's something at least he tried to do last game.
Yeah, this game has been quite defensive. He hasn't tried to do anything. Even he's got a planetary fortress out at the gold, and he really needs to make something happen soon here. Because otherwise it's just going to be game over.
Yeah, already just if we look at the resources bank, we see 4,000 minerals for Zerg and approaching 2,000 Vespene gas as well. It's just going to be so tough. And look at that, pathogen glands is on the way, so it is going to be infestors this game. Not going to just be sticking with that very strange but novel Broodlord, Baneling, Zergling composition he had last game.
Yep, and it does look like, did I see a command center? No, I didn't see a command center somewhere. I'm going crazy. I do see 2 armories coming up, though.
Yeah, double armory, and he actually has a bunch more factories already. In fact, it's kind of hard to tell because he has all his production facilities on one hawk. He's got 4 factories ready to make
does look like
tanks,
we're having a fight in the front here.
Yeah, huge engagement right now. He had a beautiful spread on those tanks, though, and I think this is going a lot more in TkOhmboy's favor than ProClan expected. Look at that, unsieging immediately. He's going to push forward for sure, I think.
I think some of that, though, might have just been to free up, not free up some supply, but take out some of his, because he can instantly remake. There were 104 Zerglings on the production tab a second ago.
Oh my gosh, so true. He's got 1-1.
The one thing ProClan has to be really careful about, though, is he's got, now it's down to 98, but he had 100 workers at one point, and just because he has so many workers, if he oversaturates workers, he's not going to have anything to defend. But looks like we've got a lot of Zerglings running in here, but they're getting chewed up by the tanks really quickly.
Yeah, he's got to mash them all, and this is definitely not the way to go about it, but it looks like hitting from 2 sides, it's going to be enough. He's crashing Banelings into tanks, doesn't seem to matter here. Still running Zerglings around the map. There's so much action right now, it's kind of hard to keep track of it.
We do have one lonely Viking that did land, and is now being picked off. He needs to get these medevacs out of here so these queens don't go to town on him.
Sure. Definitely a ton of gas right there you don't want to lose. And I don't think we've even had any infestors yet. No, still no infestors on the way, and almost 100 drones. He should probably use about 20 to 25 of those to just mass spine crawlers in the middle of the map and push forward with those.
Indeed.
Just to slow any Terran push
and I'm actually,
that may be coming his way.
I'm actually looking at the Terran's view right now, and he actually does not know about 2 of the bases that Zerg has right now. He has not seen that he's expanded all the way into the bottom there.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's expanding again, pretty much on Terran's side too.
Yeah, he can take as many bases as he wants at this point. He's got so many drones, so many minerals banked, it really doesn't matter. And it looks like another huge round of units is going to be streaming in towards these tanks. Some of them are caught unsieged, and that's definitely not going to bode well for him.
And it does look like this might be it right here.
I think
it did
so.
pick off a lot. I'm not sure if Terran just doesn't have the resources to remake everything he just lost, while Zerg's just been banking away. Still over 4k minerals.
Yeah, Zerg is actually almost remaxed again.
Building 114 Zerglings right now.
Yes, something you definitely don't see every day.
It looks like we do have a drop going on though, but I think it's way too little, way too late.
Yeah, one drop right there, taking out a few drones. Doesn't really matter, he still has 82 left. And yeah, a ton of Zerglings streaming in, gonna take care of that.
And it actually does look like that planetary fortress went down in that fight. I did not notice that. So I think Zerg's pretty much got this game at this point. It's just waiting for this last massive push here, which looks like it might be coming right now. With this very large stream of Zerglings heading straight for the main.
Huge amounts of Zerglings, that's right. Just pushing in, and he's going to be going for the kill. The supply depots are not raised. Going to go into main, camp outside the production facilities. That
Another large stream of Zerglings coming across the map too. And there's the GG.
GG.
So AI Pro is up 3-0 right now.
Going on to game 4 here.